So oxygen is very important for fish, just like it is for us. And Lake Scugog, being a nutrient-rich lake, has a lot of bacteria that it's going to be decomposing that organic matter as it breaks down. And this uses up a lot of oxygen. And this is particularly a concern in the winter when the lake is covered with ice and essentially sealed off from the atmosphere. So there's no new oxygen that's coming into the lake in the winter to replenish the oxygen being used up to decompose plant matter. In 1960, there was a large winter fish kill on Lake Scugog where 90,000 fish essentially suffocated due to a lack of oxygen under the ice. Winter ice and snow conditions are changing on Lake Scugog as a result of climate change, and we want to know what this means for oxygen levels under the ice. At the same time, changes in the amounts and types of algae and plants that are living in the lake also play a role, because they're providing the fuel for bacteria to use up oxygen. So there are a group of macroinvertebrates living in the lake mud that can tell us about how the oxygen has changed in Lake Scugog over time, and these are called chironomids. Chironomids live most of their life in the water. They look like little worms in the mud. As adults, they're going to emerge from the water as flies, and they emerge solely to breathe. They don't have mouths. They can't bite you, so they're commonly called non-biting midges. So if you've ever walked down by the lakeshore in the spring, maybe you've seen these dark clouds of tiny flies. Those are chironomids. There are many different species of chironomids, and different species of chironomids need different levels of oxygen. There's a particular group of species of chironomids that are bright red, and that bright red color comes from hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the same protein that carries oxygen in our blood. So these chironomids that are bright red, that have a lot of hemoglobin, they're very well adapted to living in low oxygen conditions. So when we look at the chironomids in the sediments of Lake Scugog, we'll be able to tell you how climate change, nutrient enrichment, and invasive species have influenced the oxygen that fish need to breathe. And we may even be able to detect that 1960 winter fish kill.